Howdy, this is going to be a video about a German bow technique. So if you don't know, this is a German bow as opposed to the other bass bow, the French bow, which is an overhanded grip. So this kind of technique is what we call underhanded, and what that means is we have an underhanded bow hold. So for this, if you're just a beginner getting started, if you're a teacher who's starting a student on German bow, there are a couple things that you first need to know. The first thing is that there's a very natural German bow hand shape. So if you just let your hand kind of like sink right in front of you, just like let it go limp, and then you turn it 90 degrees, keeping the hand relaxed, this is the natural German bow grip. And so if you can see, this is kind of what it looks like. Here's what my fingers do. So from there, if you pick up a German bow and you have that natural grip, you can stick the German bow straight into the hand and let it sit there. That's how it's going to nestle. From there, you can put your index finger and your middle finger on the stick and let your thumb come over and rest on the top. Your ring finger is going to hover with your pinky coming to rest on the silver. From there, you can kind of like move around to get it a little more comfortable so it rests easily without support from your left hand. You're going to want to keep your index and middle fingers curved, and you're going to want to keep your ring finger as relaxed and floating as possible. Your left pinky doesn't need to have any tension whatsoever on it, particularly when you're on the string. It's just there as a supporting mesh. Your thumb is what you're going to use to put pressure on the string so that when you draw, it's going to be something like this, as opposed to this. A lot of that's also going to be shoulder weight. Now the German bow takes advantage of a lot of the natural weight coming in like this. So there's this straight line from the top and the back of your shoulder all the way down to your thumb. This is helpful for getting a good powerful sound and stroke, as well as a little more stability. It's not as much in your elbow as it would be if you were playing with a French bow. Because of this, there are a couple bow strokes that come a little more naturally for German bow. Among them like spiccato and more détaché styles. I will be demonstrating for these styles later on, but for now I'm just going to continue on talking about some beginner material for German bow. Some of the biggest mistakes that German bow players like to make, particularly beginners, so this continues through the intermediate and advanced level, is they like to straighten out their fingers like this or clench their fingers kind of like that. This is a normal thing for students to do, and you just have to kind of remind yourself or your students to loosen your hand and keep everything relaxed and ready to go. Once you're on the string, keep in mind that your fingers are still curved and your thumb is on top, ring finger is still floating around, and your pinky is curved beneath like this. From there, once you're on the string, there's a very natural flexing of the fingers as you draw the bow. I will exaggerate this so that you'll be able to see it, but it's pretty much like this. As you draw the bow down bow, the fingers flatten out. They become kind of like pistons, they're coming out, but as you push forward, they curve out again. In mind that I'm exaggerating this for effect. So the general motion of a down bow, up bow is however, in practice, it's a lot more soft. And it's more just like a palm motion that you really. This is the Bach Badenary from his Orchestral Suite No. 2 in D major. What's notable about this piece and what makes it good for spiccato is that it's incredibly bouncy and it moves fairly progressively. So it has a good alternation between 8th notes and 16th notes that make it very obvious and a good spiccato bounce. What this piece is not is a very heavy spiccato. This is a Baroque, almost kind of like a lighter style. It's just supposed to be rather distinct. So in this bit where it goes, that's a very simple spiccato. The bounce is almost unintelligible. An exaggerated demonstration of the bounce would be, which is not quite the power that we're going for, as this is Bach, but the bounce is a little more obvious in the 16th note run of this piece. Things to be wary about with spiccato, and a couple ways that you can prepare for it. So you can start off just by doing bounces like this, like a basketball kind of stroke or something like that. You can muffle the strings with your left hand and just let your natural arm weight and the physics of the bow just to bounce. From there, you can slow it down or speed it up. And the trick is to keep your entire body relaxed. You can move it up for different kind of strokes and effects. You can move it down for the more heavier spick. And this is going to be a lot more basketball because this is very much lowering kind of the angle of your body. And to be careful here because you don't want to hurt your wrist or your elbow. So it's really important to keep your body relaxed. From here, just start adding a little bit of space. And from there you can speed up how you like it. However, this is a good place to start with nothing. Get yourself used to the motion before you start adding your left hand